Do you know what it's like to struggle? Do you know what it's like to have money? Do you know what it's like to stress about money? Do you know what it's like to be joyful with money? Do you know what it's like to receive money? There's so many things with money that we make significant, that we define, that we create this point of view on it. And it doesn't have to be your reality, okay? You can have more, you can be more with money. What energy can you be today that would allow more money to show up? I just wanted to talk today and hopefully give you some insight and some tools in changing your current financial reality, no matter where you're at. Like if you're in debt, if you have money, if you have more money than you ever thought you would have, if you have more debt than you ever thought you would have, whatever you have currently chosen is your financial reality. That's what you chose. Sit with that for a second. That's what you chose. Now, what would you like to choose? If there's something different that you can choose. So I want you to tap into the energy of where your financial reality is right now. Okay. And what comes up for you? What comes up? Are you happy? Are you struggling? Are you stressed? Are you doubting something? Are you anxious? Do you have joy? Do you have ease? Have you decided you have hardship? Like, what is the energy? Because it is an energy. What is the energy that comes up for you? Who have you decided you are with money? Now, notice there's an energy that comes up. Hopeless could be something. Great could be something, whatever that is. And it could just be an energy, okay? Please don't disavow the energy. What you think and what you speak creates your reality. It really does. What if we could go beyond that? And a lot of the times it's so energetic is the stuff that we pick up on. And my question is it your point of view, or whose point of view are you buying of who you are with money? Okay, now I'm going to ask you, what are you with money? Same thing might show up, something different. Don't judge it, just perceive the energy. Where are you with money? And notice as I'm asking these questions, are you present with it? Or do you disappear? When you're listening to something and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, because you start thinking about something else. What if you could be present? How many times do you not be present with something so that you actually don't have to choose? You don't have to acknowledge what you've created, because then you can change it. So where are you with money? When are you with money? Notice the different energy, okay? And this is all the places of how you define yourself. Take away the definitions. You have more choice. So when are you with money? Why are you with money? Again, different energy. And do you know how many people I've spoken to and they judge that their family has money or that they married into money? You created that. Pat yourself on the back and go, damn, girl or boy, I chose that. Why are you with money? Maybe my family has money. Maybe I'm a trust fund kid. My husband makes a lot of money. My wife makes a lot of money. Okay. Why are you with money? How are you with money? How are you with money? And here's my question too, is how you have decided and defined you are with money. Is that true, or is that what you've been told you are with money? So it's literally your definitions you have of you, of who, what, where, when, why, how you are with money, is how you create your entire reality. So you have the justification, because they are justifications of, I was born into a family with no money, or the country I was born into, or whatever that is. That's the story you tell yourself that keeps you from creating what you could be choosing. Because if you're actually willing to give up the definitions of you, which also create the judgments and the limitations and the barriers, you can have a different reality with money. Just even ask yourself, like, write this down on a Post-it note or something. Who, what, where, when, why, how am I with money today? Who, what, where, when, why, how am I with money with my family? Who, what, where, when, why, how am I with money with my friends? Who, what, where, when, why, how am I with money with myself? So if you were creating your life, what would you choose? If you were truly choosing to create your life, not rely on anybody else or anything else, what would you choose? Okay. Just start looking at that as a question that you can ask yourself daily. I definitely did that thing of being like the petulant, teenager, and even going into my early 20s of, I don't need any help. I don't need money. I don't need anyone to give me anything, blah, blah, blah. I can do it all on my own. But part of that was I wanted to prove that I could create with no money. How many of you would like to prove that you can create with no money? And perhaps this is what the majority of people choose, struggling with money every week. So, it would get to like Wednesday, and I'd have to pay rent on, by the end of the week. And I'd think, how the hell am I going to pay rent? And I'd have to hustle to pay rent. Okay. Just come up with another idea, or where can I get this from, etc. And I'm going to say I spent quite a few years with that energy in my world, like struggle. How many of you are familiar with the reality of struggle? It's like who, what, where, when, why, how are you with money? Do you choose to struggle? And I created a business and I did all these different things. I created a few businesses and I was making money, but I was doing that classic thing of spending way beyond my means. If you had seen me, you would never have been like, oh, she's poverty stricken. I acted like I had money. I would be like, yeah. I had this great ability to get loans from institutions or another credit card or, delay a payment or something like that. It's like I just kept accumulating everything. How many of you are creating that as your reality and you keep accumulating debt everywhere? Now I've been working with Access for 25 years and it matched the energy of what I desired in my world and in this world on this planet. I was creating things previously that I had this, this desire, this like, let's change the world, let's have this, let's change how we are with people and blah, blah, blah. And then when I came across Access, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm aware of, what I know. Okay. What I know. And the one thing I'm going to say to you, which Gary said to me when I first met him, I just love him for it, is he said, don't trust me, trust you. So I started using Access consciousness tools. Now, can I say the basis of Access consciousness tools is being in question, is not going to a judgment, is not going to a conclusion. It's asking questions. Is this working? Like just because something worked today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. How many times do you choose something and you keep choosing it, but you know that you should change something? Whether it's with your relationships, your body, money, business, where you live, anything. What in your life currently do you know you should change and you haven't been choosing to change it because it's familiar? I started being in question. And for me, it was so not my world. Like, I don't know about you, but at school, we were taught to have the answer, not be in question. And so I started just trying to flip everything in my world. Instead of going, oh, this is not going to work, I go, well, could this work? What can I add to this? Or where is my energy required today? Not waking up going, this is what I have to do. Instead asking, what can I be today? What can I be with this project? What can I be with my financial reality? What can I be with my body? What can I be with my business? What can I be in my life today? And when you start being, it takes a different element. It takes you out of the defined reality into a reality of question, choice, possibility, contribution. Oh, yeah, and chaos. If you've been to an Access class or if you've never been to one, just play with the clearing statement too. It's phenomenal, okay? And you don't even have to remember it all. Just say POC and POD, okay? Because POC and POD is the point of creation, the point of destruction. of where you create basically a limitation, a judgment, a barrier, a conclusion, rather than, oof, what else is possible with this? Even that question, like, what else is possible with your financial reality today? Again, if you were creating your life, what would you choose? Do you know what it's like to struggle? Do you know what it's like to have money? Do you know what it's like to stress about money? Do you know what it's like to be joyful with money? Do you know what it's like to receive money? Like, what are the energies that you're currently choosing? And what if you could change it? We have a story that is very familiar. Now, why do we have that? Because we tend to start duplicating each other on shit, on crap, okay? What if we didn't do that? We judge when someone has a lot of money and we go, oh my God, now they're just rich. Well, what if you actually duplicated that and went, I'll have that. I'm going to outcreate that. Like, outcreate me, okay? I've created more wealth than I thought that I would ever have in this lifetime. Outcreate me. And then I'll outcreate you. And then you outcreate me. There's not a lack of money in the world. There's people choosing lack of money, okay? Which one are you? I would like to create and generate more money. And what I'm looking at is, what am I spending my money on today? Is it creating a future for me and the planet that is congruent with what I desire? That's how I sort of start to choose, rather than how I did choose. Now, using these tools of access with money started to change the way I looked at money, the way I bead with money, the way I embraced it, engaged, and actually learned to have it. Because one of the things I would do is I'd get money and I'd be like, well, where's it got to go? It's got to go somewhere. It can't be mine. So what's your story with money? What's the who, what, where, when, why, how you are with money? Just notice the energy. Is there a door that is opening up that you could open that door up more and walk in and go, wow, this is a different reality. I'd like to find out what this is. You are the only one that can choose that, my friend. You are the only one that can choose that. I can't make you choose anything. Nobody can make you choose anything. Have you noticed that? But what is it that you would like to choose? Will you please let the door open? Let the universe contribute to you and walk through it and find out what's on the other side.